All right, we're recording now.
Alright.
So, all right. Well, then let's just recap real quickly. So,
Let's just take it from the beginning because it
okay.
is the most important subject.
Well, it
We
is
shouldn't
because
just
like
do it
like you said,
justice.
I think it's the thread that ties everything
I'll tell
together.
you where I want to start with this because you can tell like I'm fired up on this. That cathedral survived 800 years. Now my history's not good, but that's at least World War One, World War Two, and the French Civil War. It survived that. But you give diversity 5 minutes, gone.
Yeah.
And the firefighters were lucky to save that. I don't think they were meant to save it. I, I, and a celebration of it, people can't understand that you're witnessing. This is symbolic of Europe burning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is I'll tell you what is it could just be an isolated incident, but the celebration of it is what really shows how far gone things are. Like like how I was saying the one night, it's astonishing to think that you have younger gay men who are like, that's really sad that burned, I'm glad I got to see it before this happened, and then seeing these
That's right for colonizing the world.
and then
You
you
burn others, you
and
get
then
burned.
well and then you see these 20 to something 30-year-old women just being like, well, Christianity, religion is a system of
Yeah.
slavery, and it's just, bricks and stone anyway,
Bricks and stones.
and it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, you can't even admire the effort it took to put those bricks and stones together with the tools of the
We
times that it
won't be able
was.
to.
And
Like, I want to get onto Logos in a minute. That is all about Logos. The amount of order and structure they had to build that over 200 years. We're going to be shocked at how backwards we've gone. What is going to replace is going to be an absolute
horror, yeah.
blasphemy. It's going to be some glass tower. And
Yeah.
like I've said before, like you came up with, I think they're literally going to have Baphomet with an erection, and it's going to be transgender somehow.
Yeah.
Transgender Baphomet.
I mean,
Replaced with
you know,
Baphomet.
and as
And
much
then we
as
go, how brave? Because Macron, he said that he wants, to reflect, he wants it to be rebuilt, but not to show what it was, to show where France is now.
yeah.
And France is now.
Well, and it's
And,
like
France is diverse now. So where is France now? It's had, 25 weeks of riots. We've had a Paris, sorry to do that. That's what happened at the concerts now. You get shot up. Had a Nice truck accident.
yeah.
Incident, had a truck incident. Everything's just blowing up all the time.
Well, and that's the other
And it's
thing.
nothing's related to anything.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing.
Even if
People
you don't
people
want
are
to blame
like,
Islam, the Jews, or anything, this is a collapse.
when people are like, who would celebrate a church being attacked? It's like, oh, I don't know, maybe the same people that are attacking Christmas markets. Like there's such a
Yeah,
one.
people celebrating it need to be on an ISIS watch list.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably one of the easiest ways that you could actually establish an effective watch list is wait for incidences like this and then scan social media for the reactions. I mean, hell, you or I could put together that watch list in our spare time, like by just going through the hashtags and stuff. It wouldn't be
Let's
very
say
hard
it's
to
complete
do.
accident, right? Say it's complete accident. How can the media just brush away? Like the place was still burning when they go say this is an accident. Accident. Let's not speculate. It's obviously construction work. It's like 800 church vandalisms in a year. 800. There's been 40. Don't quote me. I could be wrong on this. 48 in the last 3 weeks. If this was mosques in Paris being attacked, it would be outrage, and we have to stop this. And
Oh,
obviously, I agree with that. You would have to stop it. The amount of security around mosques would be insane.
yeah.
But there's no plan to even talk about it, let alone offer these people protection. So they're going to be. It's more like a green light to just go, hey.
Well, see, and that's what I was saying before, where I feel like they can now use this one to dismiss all the others. Where if people go, oh, well, you know, churches are being attacked. You know, what are we going to do to protect them? People are just going to say, oh, well, Notre.
Just end the podcast. Just end it. Like
that. Yeah, that's
ruled out.
That's what I'm saying. People are.
The next thing. Why are we even talking about it? It's obviously just an electrical fire.
Yeah, and that's the thing is people will use this one to dismiss all of the other ones that it's like, well, they weren't burning, it was vandalism, and it was this, and it was that. And just real quick on the you know, the remark I had made about Baphomet with tits and a giant dick, like,
Mecca's on fire.
if you know,
we're gonna celebrate that.
And the thing is even it's like, even if you had the Vatican step in and say, and that's where my remark about the transgender Baphomet statue stemmed from, is you look at the religious symbolism that they put up in the Vatican of all places nowadays, and it's like these demonic statues and shit that, like, you just don't know, like, why they would even do that, but then the only rationales you find are the uncomfortable truths, and that's what I think it's going to be.
What would the reaction be if people were like laughing at Mecca and they'd be like, look at these right-wing terrorists? You'd 100% be on the watch list. If Mecca burned and you had all the smiley faces, it'd be complete insanity. So the other thing is, this is, I'm glad you brought up the Pope, because the two popes met on that day. They were watching. Have you seen that?
No.
What are the chances the two popes were together and that was going down?
Yeah.
It's such a holy week, like I said before. Like, if you bring up that Feist thing, like how April's a really bad year for America. And America, let's just face it, when we talk about politics and the downfall, the burning of Western civilization, it's the burning of Christianity. So let's just change that article to April's a really bad year for Christians.
You know,
the Boston firecracker went off. And if you go on YouTube now, remember all those Peaky Truth and Caravan to Midnight on the Boston firecracker? They're all gone.
Well, you know what I was going to say, actually?
The Titanic sunk.
But you know what's interesting about that article, though, is that it basically says the 7 days after the 15th. Like, that's generally the third week of April.
Yeah, because that leads you up to May Day, doesn't it? Which is meant to be the big...
I don't know. I think it stops short of May Day, but I did have up in the stream that got cut off the occult sacrifice calendar, and the 21st is the big sacrifice day. Like, they say it's the 20th, but it's really the 21st. And also, you know, Easter's Eve, which now would be the 20th this year. But 21st date-wise is, and that's this Sunday when Easter falls this year. And it also said, though, Ash Wednesday, Good Friday, basically all the holy days throughout Lent. And it's just, it's the timing is very odd.
Well, going on to timing, remember they moved out the 12 apostles. And a lot of statues were moved 2 weeks before. And if you bring up the image of the apostles now, they've had to behead them to get them out. So you've just got a picture all through the mainstream, the 12 apostles beheaded. Which is just incredible sight. And then, did I talk about today about the New Jersey thing?
No.
I think it was New Jersey. St. Patrick's Church. Guy got busted by the cops walking in with 4 gallons of gasoline and stuff to light a fire. They obviously arrested him pretty quick. And then he said, oh, I'm just broken down. I just happened to be walking back to my van with petrol to fill it up. So they checked his van. It's full to the brim of petrol and had lots more canisters full of gasoline. So you nearly lost another one in America today.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think the firefighters they should be like, there's no like, they should be like celebrities, you'd think, because they fucking saved it. I think it was meant to go down. I don't think it was meant to survive. It took them 2 hours to get there.
That's astonishing. I don't know if maybe
Yeah, my mum said it's not. She's going, Paul, you're French.
Well, I guess that's true. But I mean, I was gonna say I don't know if I'm biased because I live around the corner from a fire station, so it's like I hear them going out all the time. But it's just I don't know. I think like we were saying
It's
before.
just the celebrating of it burning. Like, what are you planning to replace it with? Like, what are you getting so excited about? Because you're not going to be able to rebuild that.
Well, and you know
You're
what?
going to realize how, even though we've got all this technology, all our modern architecture is shit. And you got people comparing it to Greenfield Tower. Greenfield Tower, yeah, I'm sorry people died, but at the end of the day, an ISIS bomb went off and they covered it up. And it looks like an inside job. It's a building that hadn't been there that long. Not been there for like 800 years. And it's like, this is France's 9/11. It's like, World Trade Center's nothing like. And thankfully, no one died. Like, you can't. I don't understand how.
It's not comparable. But the thing I would wonder is, as far as the people celebrating, all right, yeah, it almost makes me wonder.
Be on a terror watch list.
Are they only celebrating because no one died and because it's supposedly accidental? Like, I wonder these same people, if you
Well,
question,
they wouldn't have known at that time, would they?
if you question them about that 800 other churches, I really wonder what their positions on that would be. Like, if they would be like, oh, well, yeah, of course they should be attacked. They should be run out of the country because they're the bigots and, blah, 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 Allah Akbar,
But that's what the
whatever,
message
whatever.
is, because no one's talking about it, so there's going to be no protection. They're just going to. There's no coverage of the St. Patrick one. They brushed that one straight under the carpet.
Yeah. And like how we were saying, the attack on Christianity is really the underlying aspect
when are they going to wake up to it?
of all of it.
What's it going to take? Like, what's going to be the strong people go? I think there's because attack on Western civilization. Maybe we should just reword it to attack on Christians.
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, Vox Day and Owen Benjamin.
Well, maybe that's why that meme is the meme, to actually distract people. Go attack on Western civilization. Attack on Western civilization. It's like, nah.
Well,
attack on.
Well, here's the reason why.
Imagine if it was synagogues being hit.
I can explain that. It's like the same thing where it's like the idea of attacks on white people. The reality is most white people don't personalize with the idea of being white. So most people, despite us all being born and raised in Western civilization, it's such a vague notion that, like, like I've asked you before, do you identify more with being Western or British? Because Western encompasses Germany, Italians, the Brits, the Irish, the Scottish. It's such a broad term that it's hard to personalize with it. Where it's like, being Christian is an identity, being Western is not. And that's just the reality of that situation. As much as people may have pride in being part of Western civilization in comparison to Eastern or Islamic or Middle Eastern or whatever, it's not as personal as an attack on Christianity and an attack on Christians, where I feel like that's why they do that, why it gets framed as Western or, the attack on white people or whatever, because Western and white are not identities that Western or white people really personalize with.
Basically come to the point where we're forced to ask, is Western civilization a good thing? And what's remarkable is the amount of people that think the answer is no.
Yeah. And my follow-up question is always, well, then what's better? And I'm yet to hear a sufficient answer to that.
Well, I think we should just end it because they've said there's nothing to speculate. It's obviously just an accident, and the other 800 never even happened.
I don't know. The whole thing is very, very bothersome. But I get, like I was saying before, the other thing that bothers me, my big pet peeve lately, is religious conflation. Like when I see the people thinking, oh, well, Christianity is no different than Buddhism, or, Judaism is no different than Islam, and religion is just religion. The only people who take that view are either sociopathic people who just want to do whatever they want and just want to wrap themselves in a veneer of moral superiority, or atheists who are against all of it. And I have more respect for the atheists that are against all of it and are just like, I dislike all of it equally, than someone who's like, I love Jesus, but I also think Buddhism is wonderful, and meditating and sitting around getting fat doing nothing and just being silent is amazing. And it's like, sitting around meditating, that's so self-centered, and Christianity is always about being outwardly centered. Like, I had this woman at my job. Now, I think she was schizophrenic, but whole time she was going on, I think I mentioned this on the last podcast, about light beings and angels bringing her onto the spaceship, and how she would be a healer, and all this sort of new agey kind of stuff about fortune telling and divinations and everything. And there was another woman who was there who was far more grounded. And I was talking to her, and I said, here's the interesting thing about that. I said, even if we want to believe that all of this is true and it's not just her having a schizophrenic episode, I said, the Bible speaks very clearly about all of this stuff and says that if you participate in it, it is opening a doorway for darkness to be entered into your life. So this woman, while she's talking about light beings and the angels and healing people, she's talking about how much bad things has come her way, and how beaten down she is by all the negative energy in her life and everything like that. And it's like, and she doesn't see that the one comes with the other. Like, you are messing around in the domains in which humans are not supposed to be. And because you are stepping into that domain, you are inviting the entities of that domain into ours, basically. Where it's like a door works both ways. If it opens, you can go through it, and other things can come into it. And that's part of it, where I really feel like a lot of the negativity in the world is from people getting involved in things that they shouldn't be. Like, the whole like, here's one of the things, to kind of tie this into it, is I bet you a lot of those 30-something-year-old women we were seeing on Facebook being like, well, religion, blah, they burn the bricks, blah, blah, blah. I bet they all go to yoga classes. I'd bet that in a heartbeat.
Well, what I see of Christianity, and it's worldwide, is there's no victim card to play. There's no special ism for them or anti-Christian that they can play. There's no action after any offence. They have no pull in the media at all. Like, there's no pro-Christian media whatsoever on Netflix. They get smeared all the time.
Well, even did you see the clip?
They get attacked on a daily basis. It's almost like this is all by design, this crap.
Yeah. Well, even did you see
is like a symbol of.
On Fox News, even there was someone who, I forget what it was. I feel like he was like a Christian leader, or maybe an elected French official or something like that. But he was on Shep Smith's program, and he was basically saying like, well, this fire is going on, but there's a trend of churches being attacked all throughout Europe.
Jamie.
That's exactly what happened. They cut him off.
Jamie, let's not speculate about what happened. We know there's been 800 incidents.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said
because anything could be going on. Like all these shops that blow up in front. None of them. It could just be like all accidents.
Maybe it's God himself.
Well, lightning struck that that famous Christian monument in Greece.
Yeah.
Wiped out 4 people.
Maybe it's God himself, just lightning bolts.
What I'm glad is how we've managed to evolve so much in fire recently, investigation, that we're able to declare it accidental whilst it's burning. We've come a long way since 9/11 in investigating fire, so we can just tell you it's definitely accidental whilst it's still burning. So, good job.
Now, I will say, the idea of it being an electrical fire is plausible only because of...
No. Wait, hang on. We're talking about construction work. It's not deconstruction work. The whole point is construction. Do you know how much red tape there is in just a construction site?
But here's the thing about it.
On construction sites.
Well, no, you don't on construction sites, but you do on old buildings that have been grandfathered in past new regulations. And this is the thing, is you have it's called being grandfathered in, where it's like if you have a building that was, built in the 1800s and it's a historic site and everything like that, sometimes it even makes it like, in my local area, for example, we have this huge psych center that used to be the biggest one in New York and all this other stuff. It's just been sitting there, rotting, falling apart. People break into it. It's filled with graffiti and vandalism. I mean, the thing is so huge. It has a bowling alley in it. It has a swimming pool in it. Like, these people lived there. So everything you would need to house, it's practically like a military barracks. Like, everything you would need is there, and there's underground tunnels connecting all the buildings there. But it's a historic site. So every couple years you have someone thinking, oh, well, I'm going to buy the property and turn it into a hotel, or turn it into this, or turn it into that. The red tape that it prevents anyone from doing anything with it, and it's just stuck sitting there. Now, that's for a building that's not being used, where it's like impossible to get rid of it because of the red tape. In these other buildings, though,
candlelight for centuries, Jay.
In these other buildings, though,
it's been lit by candlelight.
Yeah, but the thing I'm saying is, if it had an electric system, if it had a system of electricity in it that's 100 years old, it doesn't have to be updated because it's being grandfathered in. So even though the new regulations would say everything in there is illegal, it would say, well, it's old enough that we give it a pass because of how old it is. It's a really weird system they have, where it's like, if it's way old, you can keep it. But if it's only a little bit old and we update the regulations, then you have to update it too. And I think that's one of the things where electric fire could be plausible because of the grandfathering in factor, where it could have needed to be fixed 50 years ago, but if it was 100 years ago, they just would have let it be there and just say, oh, well, it's too old for us to update, this and that. It would require making too many alterations to the church itself to tear out the electric and everything like that. And that's
it happens at like 7 o'clock when there's no one there and it's empty.
Well, the electricity is still running, though. I mean, that's the thing. Like, even my house, for example, the electric is so old, if we tried to sell this house, we'd have to gut it and put in a whole new electric system in order to sell it. Because you have outlets that it's like a plug could just fall out of, and every time it does fall out of, it sparks and things like that. It's just an old system.
Don't you remember 2016, people got busted trying to blow up the Notre Dame?
Yeah. That was in that No More News video where, like I said, he goes through, I mean, years and years and years worth of attacks on churches, the plot to blow this one up, other foiled plots, stuff about Israel and wanting to build the third temple, different things concerning mosques being attacked. But the narrative he ties together, very cohesive. But I think the real story is all the other churches and what's been going on with them.
If I was the rebel media, because I know Jack and Martina have gone down there, that's what I'd concentrate on. I'd look at these smaller incidents. I think you've got more chance of getting dirt there.
Well, because the thing is what is there to say about this one? I mean, either you're
going to get swept under the carpet. They think those two aren't going to uncover anything. They've got another thing coming. But I think if they went some of these smaller venues, like churches, a lot more people are going to be talking and be able to talk, and it's going to be easier to get it verified. It's not going to be so much hearsay. But I love the photo, how the cross survived. I think that's pretty epic. You see the photo of the cross?
No.
Really epic photo. Did you see Jesus appearing in the flames?
No.
Yeah. Really conflicted. So maybe it is the war. You need to bring up that mysterious figure. I want you to really look at that. Can we send you the video? I'll send it to you. Message it to you. Check this out. What do you make of this video? It's only like 50 seconds, so check this video out that I just sent you. And do you know we're not live, by the way?
Yeah, I told you I'm recording it and just gonna upload it afterwards.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't seen this video, man. You can't tell if that's a white helmet and a yellow vest, or a Mussy, or Leo Sagami put it out there that he thinks that's a Knights Templar. He's saying they're still about, and that's what they'll be wearing. But I'm pretty more convinced that's a yellow vest and a white helmet. And this is the thing, I mean, for France, like I said, it's constantly on fire. It's a complete... You can check the Paris videos where they drive down Paris and it just looks like a refugee camp. You got no-go areas everywhere. There's constantly riots. If it's not the yellow vests, it was, remember those other riots that were going on. So this is gonna, like, you know, cool things down a lot. This is the first time we've heard from Macron since these protests got out of hand. And he was meant to make a speech about what he was going to do, extreme measures he was going to take to deal with these yellow vests. But instead he's coming on saying, don't worry, I'm going to build it with diversity in mind and modern France in mind. Well, it's like, you don't need to rebuild it then, do you? Just leave it demolished if you want modern France in mind. Just leave it smashed. Maybe put some tents up in there. Maybe stick a transgender Baphomet up there. A rainbow flag.
Why isn't it?
I just hope mankind gets a shock. I mean, I'm absolutely... We should be celebrating it. You think they'd be celebrating it survived, but I think it's a miracle that thing survived. It might not survive too, because you've got to remember that's been hit by extreme temperature and then extreme cold. So it might not be great. And then they could use that as an excuse saying, hey, we have to, like, even though the fire didn't wipe it out, going, oh, well, we've got to tear this bit down, we've got to tear this bit down, and then they probably don't need to. What do you think about the symbology of it? Because it is all about symbology and the importance of numbers as well. And, like, this is an important time of year. Like, it does seem to be, when you go, I did it, like, before anyone else did. Like, as soon as it happened, I went on this day, like 15th of April, whatever. It was just insane, like, all your stuff that happened on that day. What do you think of that mysterious figure?
Hold on, I'm trying to pull the video up again. Facebook is just being retarded.
If you Google mysterious figure Notre Dame into Google News, just get some story about a kid swinging this girl around having a good time. Then we need to find this mysterious man. Then, no, we don't. We need to find this mysterious man. What are you saying? Accident, deliberate, or unknown? I'm going arson, mate. Pretty convinced. Like, I'm like 85% sure.
Yeah, I don't know, it seems very deliberate to me.
It reminds me of what they do in America with the Antifa lot in the colleges, where they want to rip down all the statues.
Yeah.
And they want to do it in England. They want to wipe out all the heritage. All the statues got done. They're all racist. They're all white privilege. Gotta go.
Well, and that's where the celebration comes from, is people who want to just throw away the culture. And that's, I mean, I'll tell you, it's really a shame, especially when you see these females doing this, because it's like they don't know they have no idea what's coming in its place.
Yeah, men aren't going to bother protecting them. That's the scary thing.
Yeah.
Because there's no connection there. The men will be like, ah, fuck that.
Well, the women they're independent. They're independent, strong women. They can do, you know, whatever the guys can do and protect themselves. I mean,
There's some French polls where French polls said that 5 in 4, like French citizens, what they'd call like French heritage, were worried about the invasion problem. 4 out of 5. We know how this ends. France isn't going to make it
Yeah.
to the Trump election. Not going to be there. They always have army on the streets. That's the picture of Paris too. Army everywhere.
It's really crazy, especially when it's like when the idea of tourism to these places, like I told you before, I have friends that go to do work with French producers, and they go over to France, it seems like every couple months, and it's like, why? What, like, I mean, are you really thinking you're going to, like, establish a music career in a collapsing country that's turning into the Middle East? Like, that'd be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do a couple rap shows over in Afghanistan because, you know, that's where it's popping. Like,
You want to see a great news headline?
sure.
Listen to Google. Demon with fangs arrested after woman found dead with bite marks. That's in today's news.
Let's see. Demon with fangs arrested. Oh my god.
Don't want to laugh. I don't know why I laugh.
After woman found dead with bite marks on neck.
It's like sort of person you'd hang around with.
Oh my god, get this bullshit out of here.
This is insane.
What the hell? A man with fangs in his mouth and eyes like a demon has been arrested over the alleged murder of a popular tattoo artist found with bites on her neck.
Okay.
What is wrong with people? I'll
I
tell.
don't feel
Yeah,
particularly safe in Europe, Jamie.
I wouldn't
The
with
chicken
with
bomb, isn't it?
faces like that walking around. I'll tell you what. If you're gonna fucking kill someone, you should try not to have fangs, demon eyes, and small horns. Like, it's kind of a giveaway.
Yeah, and as Owen Benjamin recommended, dig the hole first.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah, and leave space for lots of drainage.
good bit of
And
advice.
let the ground rising again. And try and build something over top of it. Because if they don't find the body,
There's no
no
crime.
murder charge.
Yeah. I mean, this is all what's happened to the world. Well, I mean, it's the attack on Christianity. It's just amazing, like, it's amazing how long it's been in the
I
works,
used
though,
to
I
laugh this
think.
when I was 15. Like my brother, when he was like 10, used to like go all rock and roll satanic. All movies are satanic. Harry Potter is indoctrinating kids into satanic witchcraft. I
Yeah.
used to just piss myself laughing. I was like, how do you even get to work in the morning, Nigel? And now I'm like,
Now you see it. And it's true. I mean, I've had that awakening where even I look and I'm like, oh, all law is black magic. It's assertion of will over people. Like, there's a dark occultism that either dark occultism or just call it flat out Satanism is spread through everything.
Do you know that the Nazis, when they were doing their MK Ultra, they standardized music, so they came up with the 4,000
Yeah,
hertz.
yeah,
You knew that?
yeah. I've looked into that.
And obviously, you know about hertz when you know get the different vibrations create different
Yeah.
pictures and.
Well, and it when I
So
found
what should you tune to? What is the correct pitch that everyone likes?
before that it was a half step down, basically.
Or 2000.
Yeah. Or it's like 423. I think is the actual.
How would you tune a guitar to 423?
E flat would be your top
Really?
string. Everything would be down a half step. Now, the interesting thing about that is, and when I read
Your
all,
voice is at a male voice is at that pitch.
yeah.
Not pitch.
Well,
that
that's
key.
that's why they would say, everyone like Bob Marley's songs resonate with people because he tuned in that tuning, and
I thought it's just a male voice because males aren't as high. They just tend to talk at around that.
but it's also when
It's
you
quite easy, you know. It's quite easy live.
but it's also the difference basically between singing with your chest and singing with your throat. Like we can sing in tune with this 440 tuning
It
if
can't be
if
that
you sing with
easy,
your
Jamie.
throat.
Can't be, I'm good.
But one of the things I was going to say is Brett, for as long as I've known him, if you give Brett a guitar and he tries to tune it, he tunes everything a half step flat. And I've always been like, how can't you realize this is not the right tuning? But that's the tune.
No, I always tune to that.
It's the tune that resonates with him. Because
It's not just that. It's like for a guitar, it means that extra drops quite a bit. So you can go quite heavy on your string, on your bass string.
well, yeah. If you're intending on down tuning, but if you're intending on being in standard tuning, but you just tune everything flat because that's what you think is correct, there's something else going on there.
The other thing is it's obviously preference, but I like the minor scale more than the. That's not true because obviously a scale is in context of the chord you use, but just as a general simplistic way of music, I prefer music that's more minor based
Yeah.
than major. So it's sad. I like music to be sad.
Yeah, but that doesn't, like you said, that's all contextual to what you're playing in and stuff like that as far as the scales and stuff. I'm just talking about the overall instrument tuning of it's basically like where your starting point is. But like you're saying, the Nazis knew if you crank everything up just that extra half step and have that as the standard, everything is in this sort of it's harmonious within itself and within the composition, but it's disharmonious within nature and how we resonate with things, and it creates a unnerving, anxious type feeling.
I'm just reading Mum's there. You 100% sure it's that easy?
Huh?
Are you sure it's that easy?
What's that
You
easy?
just tune half down. Just tune it half.
Yeah, I'm
half
pretty
step
sure.
down. Yeah, it's quite hard. You can't just get a straight answer on Google on that. There is a conspiracy to keep that quiet.
Yeah.
I'll show you what I've been doing on the top. Hang on. This is really embarrassing. When you're at blues, I've never learnt my 12-bar blues.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you go to you're lucky, so you get in America all the time, but I just went to one and everyone was just doing.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but not really, gets a bit boring after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So doing the moving the everything so you actually follow the chord, I couldn't do it. Just having something like Yeah, the 12 bar blues is a good music lesson. A lot more harder than you actually think. I might do that next week.
I don't know anything about blues guitar.
12 bar blues.
I mean, I know
It's
how
a
to.
really important music lesson. Like I've been doing music for a long
I know how to
time.
do it on bass, just because when I
Yeah,
was
the
at.
reason it's good because when you go to the D, the A's major and the D's minor.
Uh-huh.
So you're using a major scale which you don't use very often, and then going to a minor.
I know
Rarely.
on bass for most songs like that, they just hand you the guitar chords and are like walk 'em, and that's all you really have to do, and it's pretty hard to mess that up, as far as bass playing is concerned. But yeah, it's. I don't know. I really wonder, like I was saying before, with the occult calendar saying that the big sacrifice day is the 21st. I really wonder if something's going to happen on Easter, or if this church burning, the cathedral or whatever, if that's going to be the main attraction as far as horrors this season.
Yeah, I don't know if I can take any more mayhem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
landmark of Western civilization, the day it burned.
Yeah.
Lasted 800 years.
That's amazing.
World War One, World War Two, Civil War, Macron, gone.
Well, and that's the really sad thing, is that it could last through all those wars and everything like that. And even sadder than if it was just an electrical fire. Like, I'd almost feel better if it was attacked, because then it's like, it's like, it just doesn't. What an anticlimactic ending, you know what I mean? To survive for so long and then just have some whoopsie, like, take it down.
Did you get to watch the video of that mysterious guy on the tower?
Yeah, walking around.
What do you make of it? Is it a white helmet and a yellow vest?
It kind of looks like it. It's hard to tell.
I'm kind of backtracking on putting that out there.
Yeah, I don't know what to. It's too pixelated for me to really tell. But I mean, there's definitely someone up there.
I just really want to just imagine if I'm not, obviously I don't want it to happen, but if Mecca burned and then there are just 800 attacks on mosques, what the headlines would look like, what the fear would be out there, the amount of extreme measures the government would be taking to protect them. But Christian, it's just like, go right ahead.
Yeah.
The doors are open, like flood it, burn it. Because people around the world are going to see it. People in the Middle East.
Well, because that's
just go over there and just like, it's
see,
on, guys.
And that's the thing about all of this that really kind of bothers me, is thinking about it from the perspective of, okay, you have the Middle East.
Even copycats, it deserves the security just on the basis of it. Like they put that scenario forward for suicide. If someone jumps off a building, they put cops there, make sure no one copycats it.
Yeah.
So why doesn't that principle apply to this? That when you see a historic church burned down, you're not at least going to put a cop at all the historic churches.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that I think about is, you have all these people that are moving into Europe from places in the world where attacking and burning down churches is basically the standard.
Yeah, look at Syria. Yeah, it's across the world. They're all gone. All the historic sites are gone.
Yeah, and it's like, so when these things start happening in Europe, where we've relocated all these people to, are like, why are we not like just expecting this? Like, that should just come with bringing in all these people.
Jamie, what should we do about it? What's the plan?
I don't know what they do in the Dark Ages. exile them
Apparently
all.
it didn't happen in Dark Ages.
You know what the thing is Ann Coulter made this quote once, and you know people attacked her for it, and she like people think she was being kind of hyperbolic, but she basically said we should go to the Middle East, convert them all to Christianity, and those that won't convert just bomb them. And it's like maybe we should. Is what else is going to get the job done at this rate?
I fancy going full out Christian, dude, and just having a Jesus shirt on all the time and stuff.
Huh? Just rep
Just
it.
having one of those Jesus is the hero sort of t-shirts. Bible.
Yeah.
I'm liking that Michael Jones a lot, man.
E. Michael Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do too.
He's connecting the dots.
Well, and it's dots that no one I think really was looking at, you know, and even his perspective on the Jews, like I don't, you know, there isn't anything he says that doesn't seem to be factually inaccurate, where it's not like he's saying, you know, they're satanic or, you know, anything like that, but he's just saying they have this revolutionary spirit because their ideology is formed out of the rejection of another ideology. And, you know,
He wrote a book, I think, called Notre Dame, Still Catholic, with a question mark. Because the Vatican has a very weird relationship, doesn't it, towards the Notre Dame, doesn't it? I don't think they help with that anymore. Check out that film, the two popes being together. Like, were they just watching it there, man?
Well, yeah, and you know what the thing is though is to some extent it's like I feel
like the two demons, Satan and Satan.
Yeah, it's like
come together.
Well,
at least Satan will be happy this week.
It's like it's weird thinking of it from the Christian perspective, because as I consider myself a Christian, I tend to reject most things that are Catholic, like Rome, the Vatican, the Catholic Church. I don't know which denomination that this Notre Dame Cathedral falls within, but I do know most Christians follow the Bible teaching that a church is basically wherever people meet in the name of Jesus. So it's like, if you and me met at Starbucks with two other people to talk about biblical scriptures, Starbucks would be the church. Like, it's not supposed to be this institutionalized, you know, buildings
Leo
and...
Sagami's a bit out my depth, but I think what it's saying, I apologise if I got this wrong, because it's hard to keep up with. But if he's right, then aren't the Knights Templar like the satanic, you deal with satanic rituals? And the Notre Dame has lots of links to the Knights Templar in particular.
Yeah.
So he was like saying that guy is Knights, you know, I don't know, very ritualistic.
Yeah. Well, it is. I don't know. There's something shady about all of it. And like I said,
I just think you got to keep your eye on the rebuild.
Yeah.
Like what they've got planned, because it's going to be like, they're going to put it out there like, well, it's not going to be Paris that designs it. They're going to redesign it. It's going to be the world.
You know what else happened though?
Architects from the world, the best artists from the world.
Hold on.
And it's going to be like, you know, one of those drag queens.
Just real quick, did you hear that? I think it was like the third biggest mosque in it might have been in Israel or Egypt or one of those was on fire at the it was on fire at the same time.
Yeah, it's like a Jew. I don't want to put the Jews in it, but
yeah. Ow! I just slapped my dick. Did you see that? I just went whack and just hit my junk. Oh.
Good for you.
Yeah. Gave myself a low blow. Yeah, I mean that's see, when you factor that in, that's when it does get really suspicious, and the whole idea of this Christian versus Islam with the Jews sitting offside, you know, idea gets a little bit of traction to it. Yeah. They really are. Well, and the thing, like you were saying, pay attention to the efforts to rebuild this thing, but also pay attention to the efforts to build this third temple or whatever that business is in Israel, where it's like, I mean, there are now like YouTube commentators that I'm seeing that were never really big on the whole Jewish topic, now going and coming out with diagrams being like, Trump's presidency was supposed to be making America great again. Here's the list of things he's done for America, and it's like 3 bullet points, and he's like, and then they're like, here's the list of things he's done for Israel, and it's a lengthy list, and it's like, what's going on here? Like, what is really happening right now? Like, and it's again, I don't want to get into this whole conspiratorial, oh, the Jews, because even when I've heard people talk about the foreign policy and the wars and the Jews that are influencing that, it's like 4 people. It's not like it's like Jews, it's those 4 that happen to be Jewish. And they aren't even really Jewish, they're satanic. Like,
did you see that? I think this was today, but a statue of the Virgin Mary was decapitated in France as well.
No.
That's doing the rounds. And then obviously today, I know I brought up St. Patrick's Cathedral. Someone walked in there with 4 gallons of gasoline and lighter stuff, like there's like lighters. That happened.
France, statue of Virgin Mary decapitated 5 hours ago.
And a Macron quote is, Notre Dame will be rebuilt in a way consistent with our diverse nation.
Well, and here we even have from April 2nd, 2019. Wow. All right, so I have April 2nd, 2019.
Concern tonight in the Pomona Valley. It appears.
Pomona Valley, where is that? California, right? Pomona Valley? I mean, you have a Virgin Mary statue decapitated in the beginning of April in Pomona Valley. I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah, Los Angeles, CBS, so that's LA. Then on August 20th, 2016, Virgin Mary statue decapitated in Boston. Virgin Mary statue decapitated in South Fargo. December 2018. Wow, who knew decapitating Virgin Mary statues was such a pastime of somebody?
Trying to think, was Waco, didn't that burn down about in April? Well, it did. That's going a bit down the rabbit hole, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's see. April 19th. Let's see. Waco was siege compound.
Just 3 days ago, they moved 3 statues, 3 other statues, 3 days ago. They obviously moved a lot of the important art, because the amount of artifacts that's in an artwork's all been saved.
That's good.
It's almost like do you know what I mean? It's more symbolic than actually burning it down. I don't know. Yeah, it's been 11 fire church burnings in France.
Well, and that's the thing, on a symbolism level, it really is sort of saying, that Christianity is burned and gone in France, and now it's, that's the end of it, basically.
Now it's time for the one world religion.
Yep.
The rise of the Antichrist. Lucifer the light, sorry. My bad. I don't want to get killed when he comes. Yeah, handsome angel.
Yeah.
wonderful winds, and that was great stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else you've seen in the news recently? Obviously, the mother.
Not really. So, I mean, we can wrap this one up and continue it again on Sunday.
Yeah, something else would have burnt down by then.
Hopefully not, but Sunday will be Easter, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'll have an Easter egg ready.
So, alright, well, let's end this and I'll start uploading it.
Right, man.
Alright, I'll talk to you later.
Check.